Okay, and welcome to Conditionals and Converses. Now, for number one, it says this: if you go to the store, then you should buy milk. So let's first talk about what a conditional really means. A conditional is what we call an if-then statement. An if-then statement. If you do something, well, then something else should happen. Okay? Or we could also call it this. We could say, if P, then Q. So really write that down. Conditionals. If then, if P, then Q. Okay. Now, we come down here in purple. And what does P mean? Well, P is the letter that we use to represent our hypothesis. Okay? And you'll notice that the P is always in front, or it always follows the word if. So we'd say this: if you go to the store, well, then this must be our hypothesis or our P statement. Okay, so that's our hypothesis. And then what about if I choose this, it's kind of funky green here. What about Q? Well, what do we know about Q? It always follows the word then. And that's what we're going to be called our conclusion. Alright? And in this case, then you should buy milk. Well, of course, this will be our conclusion. Alright. Let's go ahead and move on to a second example so you can get some practice seeing this. Okay, so let's take a look at example 2. It says, if I study, comma. Okay, so what is this? If I study, well, we know that this is our if P, or our hypothesis statement. Okay? And then let's switch over to this nice little green, or, purple is my next preference. Then I'll make good grades. Okay, so we're saying if P, then Q, and of course, what do we call that? That is our conclusion statement. All right, let's try number 3. And you can start to tell that these questions right here are fairly simple. Okay, number 3, let's see, switch back to this nice orange. If it's November 4th, this Wednesday, if it's November 4th, we could say if P, this is our hypothesis. Okay, then it's Mr. Hastings' B-Day. Well, of course, that's true, and it is our conclusion. So we could say then Q, or our conclusion. Alright, now let's start applying these to some different concepts. Finish taking your notes and let's move on. Okay, now let's take a look at converses. Converses are when we take our conditional statement, our if P, then Q, and what does a converse do? Well, a converse switches the order. A converse switches the order. Please write that down. Converse switches the order. So what are we saying? So instead of being if P, then Q, well, what we really have now is if Q, then P. We take our hypothesis and our conclusion and we flip-flop them. So let's go ahead and label these. I'll use my orange for my hypothesis. If a lion escapes, so this is P, and our conclusion will of course be then I am in danger. So how are we going to write the converse? Well, we'll write the converse as such. We'll say this. We always keep the word if in front. So we'll say if I am in danger, and I'll use the blue for the comma to show the division, and then let's go ahead and switch to this nice orange. We'll say then a lion escaped. Alright, so right there, that is the converse. Our conditional, if a lion escapes, then I am in danger, and our converse is, if I am in danger, then a lion escaped. We just switched them. Let's do one more. Okay, for example 5, it says write the converse of, if there are no clouds, then it is sunny outside. Well, we see this part, if there are no clouds, that will be our P, and we see then it's sunny outside. That, of course, will be our Q. And remember this statement, all right? For our conditionals, it is if P, then Q. And for our converse, I guess I have to write this one out. It will be if Q, then P. Okay? So we're just taking them and we are switching the order. So let's go ahead and write this out. We'll say this. If it's sunny outside, then there are no clouds. Oh. I'll say it one more time. If it's sunny outside, then there are no clouds. And guys, that is the converse. We just take the two things and we switch them. Good luck, and I'll see y'all in our next video.